Greetings again, everybody. Welcome back to PhotoJoseph's Photo Moment, the commentary part of the show where we talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. It's the Q&A part of the show where we can talk about anything. I'm just looking back at the comments from the previous part of the show. We were talking about this crazy device, this X Air XR16 device from Behringer, big old audio interface, and one of the points was that Ryan will be able to run it up there, and it looks like there's some commentary about what Ryan will be able to do. Ryan was saying that pretty soon we're going to be able to rent out space for the sound and music recording with all the power built into this. Yeah, the only problem with it is there's still too much outside noise. This room is just not isolated enough for any like really high-end recording, and it's the kind of thing you'd rent it out and they expect it to be perfect, but you know, people have asked, but then they've never actually wanted to do it. Go figure. And people just don't want to spend money. Oh, this is, can I use it? Yes, it costs this. Oh, I have to pay for it? Yeah, we could do voiceover stuff. Yeah, you know, if anything comes up, you know where to send them. Ben says, Ryan Green, at this point, you two will be able to qualify to do all this tech to run the flight deck of the Starship Enterprise. Should be like the little touch interface. That'd be cool. All right, guys. So what's going on out there? Any questions? Anything you guys want to talk about here? Bart says, thanks for responding to my comment on an earlier video about using your phone to stream to scheduled event. Yeah, looking forward to your video on a workaround. So what Bart's talking about is with the iPhone YouTube app, you cannot select a pre-scheduled show. But it also doesn't stream to the live now. Basically, when you go into the YouTube app and you type in a title, that creates an event. It creates an event that's starting now, but that means that you can immediately go to your computer, open up that event because it's now been created, and make changes to the parameters on there. So I will do a complete show around that. Probably won't be a lot. Maybe it'll be a live show. Maybe not. I don't know. But I'll do a show around that because I think it's really interesting to see how that works. I was going to use an app that we had used before that did allow us to access the previously scheduled shows, but the app has been pulled from the App Store. Go figure. I guess once they saw that YouTube started doing their own live, they just killed it. So, oh well. But yeah, that's it. Ryan says the levels of the intro music need to go down a bit more after these changes. So, all right, people are agreeing with that. Yeah, it's a balance. What's interesting too is I've had to crank up the gain on the input from, and it must have to do with the converter, the signal converter that goes from the ATEM. It's an SDI to Thunderbolt converter. We're just not getting the same levels out of that. So we've had to crank them up on the Wirecast side just to get at reasonable levels without me having to max things out on here, which I don't want to do. We had the same problem before. It took a lot of time to get tweaked up right, but anyway, so apparently we have some balancing to do. Quentin says, I decided to pick up a Webcaster X2 and give it a try, and it arrived from B&H with a broken off heatsink rattling around inside. Oh, that sucks. At least their return process is good. B&H, yeah, they're fine. I don't, I've never had to return much to B&H, but I have returned things. And yeah, it's fine. I think you have to send them an email and tell them why. It's not quite like, it's not like Amazon Easy where you say return and it says why, you click a box and it says okay, prints out a label and your money lands in your account 5 minutes later. It's not quite that good, but it's fine. I mean, B&H's return policy is fine. And obviously, you received a broken product, so it's not like you're going to have to pay for return shipping or anything like that. Tech says, I have a YouTube and Twitch channel I use just for testing and adjusting things. I know you're probably too busy to play with that, but just an idea for you. I prefer to play and test on a live studio audience, because why not? You know, when you do a show every day, you figure, what the hell? Let's just throw it out there and see what happens. Usually, if I just need to do a test, though, I will just do a private stream. Unlisted or private stream, and then nobody else sees it, but I can load it up and see it on the other end. So at least that way we can test things out. We can test things out that way. I don't know, it's not a whole lot else going on here. What else are we going to do? So we talked about the whole kind of photo news thing, podcasty style. I will be doing that, starting that up. We've already been collecting a couple stories. I should have done it this week, but I felt like, you know, Ryan and I need to get in sync on things and how we're going to handle it afterwards. And so we're gonna do that tomorrow, next week. We'll start that on Wednesday of next week. That'll be fun though. That will be fun. And what else we got? The audio test yesterday was interesting. We learned a few things about that microphone. Obviously needs some more testing, but it definitely needs to be either line of sight at distance, or it can be hidden, but you got to be pretty close. Pardon me. So we'll be doing a bunch more tests with that. And Ryan says, everyone listen for momentary audio dropouts. Oh, no, I'm not using the Go mic receiver from yesterday. No, I'm not. Ignore Ryan's comments there. I'm not. I'm on my standard. I'm on my Sennheiser now. I'm not using the Go mic at all today. What I'm using is this other, the K&F Concept. Come here. there we go. The KNF Concept broadcast and receiver just for my ears. So this has nothing to do with you. This is totally past your point of hearing things. This is just so that I can hear you guys without having to be tethered. And it's kind of overdriving, so I got to play with the settings on that and figure that one out. Ben5 Shuttle says, have you been given a beta copy of firmware for GH5 like some have? No, I am waiting for something more final. So there we go. And people are talking about still doing a little bit of rebuffering, which is probably due to the ultra low latency. So here's what we'll do tomorrow. We're going to still do the ultra low buffering tomorrow, but I will switch the encoder to not be using such a high bandwidth. We'll drop it back down to, I think, the 4.5 megabit preset, which the more I think about it, the more I think that's what we were using. I think we were having troubles with the 6 megabit before. I just still happened to have the preset saved, and when I saw it, I thought, oh, that's the one to use, but I don't think that was right. So we'll drop it down to the 4.5 megabit and see how that works. And then assuming that if there's still problems with the dropouts, then we'll try again without the ultra low latency. But I obviously, for obvious reasons, I really want the ultra low latency to work. And you know, YouTube could very much still be making tweaks on their end. There is no reason it shouldn't be. Birdstack is saying 4 megabits should be sufficient. It should be, but you know, I just want to give the highest quality possible. And when we go lower megabit, you start to see crunching up, like on the background here, it starts to get a little blocky and pixely. We saw that off of the X2. The quality just wasn't there, even though it was supposed to be a higher megabit, it just wasn't there. So you know, we want to keep the quality up. I want to make the show look as good as possible. Ultimately, I want to go 4K, right? I do want to be going 4K again. You know, I had that Pearl 2 on loan for a little while. It was awesome to be able to do 4K from there. I would really like to be able to doing that because, you know, why not? Quality, it's awesome. Let's see here. Michael Simmons says, do you ever do shows on video mics and not labs? I did a whole thing on video mics late last year. We'll link to that up here. Yep, we'll link to that up here. There was a whole comparison that was not a live show. I did a pre-recorded comparison. Sean Mark Neighbor helped out with that. Sean, if you're still watching, again, thank you for that. And it was quite an educational, informative video. So, and it's very, I think, very well put together. You can jump around in the chapters and compare mics quite easily and so on. So do check that out. You can check that out there. And Burn6 says, I don't have quick movements or fast-paced gaming, so pixelation isn't an issue. It's not the movement pixelation, it's just more like the color banding, right? We'd see pixelizing happening on the background here. That's when I was doing this. I didn't mean my hands. I meant the gray background because of the subtle gradient there. It was pixelizing in a way that's not acceptable to me. So we'll experiment. We'll continue to experiment. But I do want the maximum quality possible for the stream. Okay. All right. I think that's it. We're good. Let's call it off at that. Thanks again for watching, everybody. You know what to do. Thumbs up the video. Thumbs down if you have to. But if you don't like the show, tell me why. Be constructive. We've had some not so constructive criticism lately, but I love you guys for jumping in there and saying what you say. You guys are great. You're the best audience. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.